Hello, and welcome to this week's Viking Verbatim. We appreciate our friends at Walnut Communication who continue to support us in our venture to make sure everyone is communicated with about the happenings of our school, and we appreciate their help. The two topics that I'm going to talk about today is a reorganization update, and then secondly, advocacy for public education. First off, as you can imagine, both boards, AHST and Walnut, have been very busy with work sessions, public hearings, and joint board meetings. Currently, both boards, after their last joint board meetings, have decided we need to take a little bit more time and get more public input about what the name of our new school district should be. But one important note that has come out of these joint board meetings is the desire mutually for both of our districts to reorganize. And it's a good time to remind everyone about the benefits of reorganization. First off is stability. Being a reorganized school district, AHST and Walnut would have 770 students as certified enrollment. That would make us the second largest school in the WIC conference. Fiscal responsibility. By pooling our resources together and having a centralized campus, we'll be able to continue to provide the programs for our students to give them a world-class education. And on top of that, be able to add programs so that our students, no matter where they live in rural Iowa, can have the same programming as a school in the metro. Lower property taxes. Even with AHST and Walnut sharing all assets and liabilities, AHST has about $200 million worth of land valuations. Walnut alone has $160 million. When you combine those, our property base is severely increased, which means we would have a decrease in property taxes for all of our land and property owners. This is a huge financial opportunity for our taxpayers. State incentives. Upon a successful reorganization vote, the Walnut taxpayers will receive $1 off of their property taxes the first year, 50 cents off their second year, and 25 cents off their third year. Because AHST is over 600 students, they will also receive a tax relief, but not at the same levels. But the highest goal for us is to provide a quality education for generations to come for our students in AHST and Walnut. We want to be able to put the past behind us in regards to always worrying about money and being able to focus on providing our students with a world-class education that they deserve. We know that our parents and communities are very supportive of our public schools here, and we just ask that your continued support be provided. If you have not contacted a board member to share your thoughts about the name of the new school district, they are open and willing to talk to you about both sides of the issue. As we work through reorganization, both sides are committed to creating a school district that will be financially viable for generations to come, and I thank them for their hard work. The second issue I wanted to talk to you about this week is legislative advocacy. Currently, the governor's proposal is only to increase public education funding by 1.25%. This is formally known as allowable growth. But one can imagine at 1.25%, it doesn't even keep up with the inflation of costs for public schools. Historically speaking, public schools have been having a very hard time over the past decade. 5 years ago, we had a 10% across the state cut. This has severely impacted public schools. In order to recover from the across-the-board cut, we would need 6 years of 6% increase in state supplemental aid just to get us back to where we would be today if the across-the-board cut had not happened. Now, what is happening, and one can imagine within the legislature, promises were made that they cannot keep. Back in 2013, tax reform was passed by both houses and then signed by the governor. This commercial tax reform rolled back property taxes. It then put more of a burden on the state to come up with the money to fund public education and cities. It's costing them more than they realized, and because of the new money coming in compared to what they have promised, they're reducing the amount of state aid to schools. We don't feel this is right for our kids, and we feel that our kids deserve better. If you believe the same thing that I do, please contact your local legislators and let them know that 1.25% for public education is not going to cut it. We need to value education, and we need to improve our funding per pupil. Currently, Iowa ranks 35th in the nation in funding education on a per pupil basis. We're $1,600 less than the national average. If we want a world-class education in Iowa, we're going to have to get more towards the average and above the average to give a world-class education. You cannot expect to have a world-class education be #1 in the nation and 35th in public funding. Thank you so much for listening this week to our Viking Verbatim. If you do have any questions about reorganization or advocacy for public education, please call me directly at any time. Thank you so much for your support, and we'll see you next time.